the Crown Casino job. If you've been following these videos, you'll know what I'm talking about, but after a long period of nobody taking me seriously and not getting any interviews or whatever, this little job just sort of dropped out of nowhere, again with the shock horror. The description of what the job was and how it all worked out ended up being somewhat contrary to what really happened. Anyone who's been alive for more than 5 minutes will understand that this is not a terribly unusual situation. Okay, so here it is. It's this tiny little tax lotto agency for people who aren't Australians. They basically sell lottery tickets, right? But it was this tiny, cramped little shop which is literally stuck on the outside of Crown Casino. Crown Casino is a bit of a legend in this town. It sort of pretty much is a law unto itself. It generates huge amounts of money, and you know, there's all kinds of weird and wonderful things that go on around it. But is, you know, they put a lot of money into the place. There's, you know, a lot of security, you know, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this thing is like a little spaceship that's landed and somebody's bolted it to the outside of Crown Casino. There's a long story as to why it was there. It is no longer there anymore, but anyway, it was when I wanted this job. And this guy, this complete arsehole of a guy, he wanted someone to do the Friday night and Saturday night shift, basically from about 5:30 in the afternoon through till about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, you weren't actually selling lottery tickets. What you were doing was selling magazines, papers, cigarettes and lollies and stuff to people who were staggering into or out of Crown Casino at the time. Now, he was either paying an awful lot of rent and that's why he wanted to keep it open, or it was genuinely worth the time to keep the doors open. And he really wanted a guy to do it because it's a pretty scary place at times. Even though there's a lot of security, it's pretty dodgy. So he figured, you know, a bloke was better to do this job than a young girl. And I think up until then they'd had a woman doing it, and you know, it just hadn't worked out. Anyway, sounded pretty cool, and I am a night person. Not as much now, but then, man, as soon as it got dark, I just came alive. I mean, I love the night time. I don't have a problem with the dark or anything like that. I just love it. I thought, this is my dream job. 2 nights, I'm getting paid a reasonable amount of money for just standing behind a counter. It's a you know, significant number of hours on either of those days, so it's not like you're just driving all the way in and turning up for a couple of hours, and it was cool. But they wanted me to do a few shifts, and because I had actually never worked in a tax lotto agency before, I didn't know how the machines worked or anything like that. So it's coming up to Christmas, it's lovely warm weather, all the rest of it. So they wanted me to do a few shifts, right, before I took over on the Friday and the Saturday night. So I turn up, and it's insane. I mean, if you've ever been anywhere near a casino, it's impossible to describe. You just have to be there. The sheer level of desperation and boganhood of the people that are coming and going, mixed in with some, you know, interesting and nice people amongst it as well. You know, security up the wazoo. Anyway, so I get this job, and the guy's a dick, but he's not a huge dick. All right, he's just a little baby dick at this stage. But the couple of shifts went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I never seemed to be getting any closer to doing these 2 shifts. The nice part about the Friday, Saturday night stuff was that it was going to be just me. Nobody else. There's normally like 4 or 5 people in this tiny little shop. It was going to be just me. I thought, oh, nirvana, you know, I can just sit there, watch the world go by, you know, serve a few customers, just take it cruisy, and it's going to be great. But I'm stuck in a shop doing daytime shifts. Real pain in the arse. And but as time goes on, this guy gets to be an even bigger dick as it goes. Long story short, we get to about the 6-week mark. I've done 1 late night shift, but just for a few hours to see how I go and all the rest of it. So, and it was great. I loved it. But this guy is getting ready to go overseas or something. There's another guy going overseas, and he's going on holidays, and he's like stressed to the max. Normally we didn't see either him or his missus. His missus was worse than he was. They didn't normally come into the shop that often, so we didn't have to put up with them being around. And I kind of got along quite well with the people that I was working with, an older lady and a younger lady. So we're doing all this sort of stuff, and we're doing our bit and everything, and it's one particular day they turn up, and the following day they're going on holidays. and the guy is like stressed to the max, and he had actually been giving me some serious shit, but I kind of didn't. I minded, but I kind of didn't mind because I was pretty green and I was quite unwell at this stage. Long story short, I'd worked up a lot of energy to get to this point, but I was still really not doing very well. So, I'm making mistakes, I'm doing weird stuff, and I'm a little bit under pressure, not like I am now, but then I was a bit sort of wobbly or whatever. So, I was stuffing up, and I thought, well, hey, I'm a big guy, I've played team sports, the coach kicks your ass, you make a mistake, it's fine. So I thought, as long as there's a reason for kicking my ass, I'll take it on the chin and I won't be my normal sarcastic fuck you self, right? And I did. I sucked it up and I took all the insults and I rolled with the punches because I needed the job. God, I feel for people who need the job. I really do. I mean, the kind of shit people have to put up with because they need that job. So anyway, we get to this day. It's the day before he's going on holidays, and this guy is just off his face. He is completely fucking out there. And he's wandering around, and he's giving us all crap, and he's getting in our way, and he's just really getting amongst it. And part of my problem at the time was that my glasses were almost sort of out of date, and I didn't have reading glasses. So I was actually having trouble reading the prices on things, and it made me look even stupider than I was, and looking back, that kind of contributed to my general dumbness. And also too, if somebody yells at you often enough, you're kind of waiting for them to yell at you again, so you get dumber as it goes along. And but I promised myself, the first time this dipstick gave me shit when I really didn't deserve it, I was going to leave. Now, I don't know where I got the courage to think that way, but I thought, I can take it if it's even partly my fault. But if you're going to start fucking giving me shit, if I put up with it, it's going to go on like that forever. Then there's going to be no end to it. And I don't care how much I need the money. I'm not putting up with that. Anyway, long story short, this guy got stuck into me over something, and it was just complete bullshit. And so I just said, look, I'm going to lunch. And, well, fine then, So I did. And I went to lunch, and I thought, no, I'm not going to stand there and give him crap, because I don't make great decisions when I'm angry. So I thought I'd go and have something to eat, spend an hour or whatever. Took a long time coming back from lunch, and tried to think it through as to what I was going to do. So, and I knew that if I walked out that day, it was going to make a significant difference to this guy, because he was going on holidays tomorrow. Now, how do you get somebody to cover the Friday and Saturday night shift? We had actually got to the point where I was about to do a series of Friday, Saturday night stuff. And I thought, how much do I need the job, and all of that kind of stuff. And I thought about it anyway. I thought, I'll do the right thing. So I decided at the end of the night, and his son came in, and I was working late that night, and his son came in to lock up and everything. And I said to him, I had a little talk to him, and I said, look, I'm not coming back. And I said, look, I know he's your dad and everything, and you don't want to hear this, but I said, your dad can be a real asshole. And I said, I don't mind if you want to get upset about that, but I said, if he seriously wants people to work for him, not 18-year-old girls are going to put up with this kind of crap. I said, he just can't treat people like that. And the kid didn't say anything. He didn't get angry. He didn't throw a punch at me or anything. I think he kind of knows his old man was a dick. So I actually rang the guy while I'm driving home. It takes me an hour to drive home. And I rang him and I told him, I'm not coming in anymore. And he, he's giving me shit, and he's calling me this, and, he's accusing me of taking money out of the till and doing all. And it just, I thought, come on, I said, look, I'm doing you the courtesy. I'm telling you, you can't treat people like that, and I'm not coming back. Now, honestly, I am proud of myself for that, because I don't always do the right thing. I try to, but I don't always do the right thing. And if I'd stayed there and let that guy put me through those hoops, you just can't let people treat you like that. I don't care how much you need the money or whatever. I know you've got to suck it up at times, and I know you've got to take some crap in order to make a buck to get where you're going, and I've given this advice to other people, but there is a line, and it's an important line. It's the line that starts to eat into who you are. You can't let people treat you badly. You can take a bit of crap. I mean, that's part of how the world works in order to get where you're going. But there's a line in the fucking sand, and you cannot let these bastards step over it. And this bastard stepped over it. And I walked away. and it was a huge decision to walk away. I really needed the job. I needed the respect of my wife, that I could do something like this again, etc., etc. But sometimes you just got to walk away.